Hello everyone, welcome to Bullet Journaling Basics. My name is Sophia and I've been bullet journaling now for about 4 years. Bullet journaling is a productivity system developed by Ryder Carroll. He's a graphic designer from New York, and he found that regular calendar spreads and task spreadsheets just didn't work for him, and therefore he developed a system that he could completely customize, something that was quick and gave him the results that he was looking for. Bullet journaling has taken over the internet. Everyone has been enjoying it, and there's actually a fabulous TED Talk that he describes his bullet journaling journey. I highly recommend that you watch it. But bullet journaling truly is what you make of it. He actually put in here in his video that bullet journaling is a mindfulness practice disguised as a productivity system. And I completely agree with him. It's been a way for me to unclutter my mind, put it onto paper, and reach some dreams and goals that I have that I would have never been able to do with just the checklist on my phone. I also find that bullet journaling is completely customizable. There are times in my life where I am so inspired by the world around me and I go all out. I doodle in my journal, I color code it, and I make it as creative as possible. It's a sketchbook, it's a journal, it's my calendar, it's everything. But there are also months too where all I use is a black pen and just take my notes because I'm too busy, or sometimes I have a little bit of artist block. But I hope to encourage you in this journey that, bullet journaling can seem overwhelming at the beginning, but once you learn the system, you're going to realize that this is a great way for you to reach your goals. It is awesome, and I really, really enjoy it. For bullet journaling, you're only going to need a couple of things. One, a pen, your favorite pen. It doesn't have to be anything special, and a journal. I'm actually going to be using this journal from Archer and Olive. It's a dotted notebook, 192 pages, and because I do like to do artwork, this particular journal has paper that can handle watercolor and other multimedias. But there are lots of other different ones. I even used to use a traditional calendar here, and I used to just add my extra pages using sticky notes. So don't be overwhelmed by, the supplies. Use what you have and just go along with the journey with me. So this first video, we're going to be talking about how to set up your journal, what the productivity system looks like, and just getting it set up. In the following videos, I'll be going through weekly spreads, habit trackers, time blocking, and a little bit of arts and crafts along the way. So I hope you'll join me, and let's jump into my journal. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome to the voiceover. Grab your notebook and your pens. As I said before, I'm using the Archer and Olive notebook here in this cute shade of green. You can use whatever notebook works for you. I also have an eraser, a ruler, some of my favorite pens. I really like the Papermate Flare. I have a Tombow Fudinesque calligraphy pen. I have a Mildliner or any type of marker. Mine just happens to match my notebook, a pencil, ruler, and an eraser. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's open our notebooks. The first thing that I like to do when I'm in a notebook is to write my name. Some notebooks have a place to put your name. You can put it wherever you'd like. This is where I'd like to put mine. So we're just going to go ahead and write our name. There's something so satisfying about starting a new notebook. I love it, and I like to take my time. So here is our name. Over on this far side is going to be our key. We're going to come back to that later, but what I want you to do is go open to your next page. This is what I like to call my cover page. At this moment, I like it just to have the years so I remember what year it was and what was going on. So we're just going to take our pen, and you can put whatever you want on this page. I know a lot of people like to put quotes, pictures, basically whatever you want. But we're going to get started with this, and I really want this section to be a little bit thicker over here. I'm going to use this thick guy here to really get that down. Obviously, you can do whatever you'd like and in whatever colors you might like. But that's how I'm going to leave mine, and I'm going to erase some of my pencil line. I find that starting in pencil can be really, really helpful. And then I also like to take colors and decorate it just a little bit. You don't have to. I'm just going to make a little box around it because that is just what I'm feeling for this spread. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is your space. I like mine to feel a little bit more organic, so that's what I'm going to do here. But however you decide to decorate this page, you do you. I'll probably in another video maybe add some quotes and maybe add some washi tape. But let's go ahead and move on to our next page. This next page here on the left-hand side is what I call grid spacing. Each one of these little dots is what we're going to label, and it's going to help us later on to make spreads. So let's go ahead and do that here. I'm going to speed up this part so you don't have to watch me do each and every single one. Okay, once we have all of our numbers down, we're going to go ahead and count halfway through the page and make a line. And you're going to do that for both axes. I find that a ruler can be really helpful for this. This one's a pretty typical ruler. You can use whatever you want, or even a piece of paper with a straight edge. So we're going to go ahead and mark off this half. For my notebook, my grid spacing is 26 by 38. So halfway for me is going to be 19 here, and I just make a line. And then halfway at the top, I'm going to mark it as 13. It's not quite perfect, but it's what I find works best for me. Move it down. And you definitely don't have to have a ruler, but kind of what I like to do is I'll write half, 19, and on the other side I'll write half, 13. And that just helps me remember. I'm going to go ahead and mark the fourths and the thirds as well. So let's go ahead and do a fourth, and then let's go ahead and do a third. So I like to write 1/4 and 9, and 1/3 is 12. So that's one section here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. There we go. So we have a fourth and a third. That's 6 and 8. And then I just like to label my pages. And that's it. And then I always like to add a little color to mine. So I'm going to highlight my header. Just like that, really simple. And then the next page is, the grid spacing page isn't one that's seen very often in bullet journals. It's not a part of the traditional method, but I find it helps me, and I actually found this off of a YouTuber, Amanda Rach Lee. She started doing this, and I was watching her videos, and I really liked that, so I decided to keep it. On the other side, though, is going to be our index. This part is up to you if you want to keep it. I find it to be helpful sometimes, but what you're going to do is just write index. And what you'll do on this page is you'll actually write the page numbers on the side. So as you're filling in your journal, you can move over to your index and see exactly where everything is. So I'm going to go ahead and label this page over here 1. So put that 1 in the top corner. So I'll put a 1 here, and I'll write grid spacing. You can also do this on the bottom as well. And then this is page number 2. Index. So you'll see as this goes along, it'll start to fill up and make a lot more sense. But let's go ahead and turn to our next page. And this is going to be our future log. A future log is where we're going to write down our yearly plan. And let me show you a little bit of what that looks like. So what I like to do is to divide each of the pages into 3 sections. I went ahead and marked that out for us already to make our lives a little easier. These dots definitely help me to make straight lines. Just like that. We have our 3 pages. And what you're going to do is in each section, you're going to go ahead and write your month. We're actually in the middle of 2021 right now, so mine's actually going to start with July. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to go ahead and label my boxes. Just like that. You have 2 options here. Some people like to put in a calendar on the side, or they actually just prefer to leave it blank. That's up to you. This is my spread from my past journal. As you can see, I like to put my calendars on each section, and over to the side, I can see what I have going on. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and do here. Something that I like to do is going across the top. I like to use initials for the days of the week, and I actually like to start on Monday. So that's what I am going to do here. So it's going to look like this. As you can see, my days of the week look a little bit different. So I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which I mark as an R. That's pretty common. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I leave it as a D for Domingo. So that's how I like to do it. And then I'll go ahead and add the numbers down the bottom here. So, and if you mess up, it's okay. That's what Whiteout is for. You can also cover it over with another piece of paper. So don't fret about it and just take your time. So I'm going to fast forward through this and go ahead and finish filling this out. All right, that's what that's going to look like. So I already know 4th of July is coming up, and this is where I'm actually going to write the different events that's going on in my life. So what I like to do is I actually like to circle the date that something is going on, and I'm going to write it over here and label what that is. And that is what that looks like. You can decorate this however you'd like. I like to add a little pop of color. So I'm going to do that across the top. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off really quick, and we'll keep moving through our journal. All right, so we've finished our memories page. It's now time to go back through the front here, and let's work on that key, shall we? So go ahead and flip back to the front of your journal. I prefer having my bullet key here on the side because no matter where I'm at in my journal, it's going to be right here where I can find it. I find that to be very helpful. So for bullet journaling, whenever you write out your tasks, there's a system that you actually use in order to keep track of your tasks, events, ideas, and that is what the key is for. So I'm gonna go ahead and write out the key, and then next class, we'll go ahead and actually start applying the key when we start building our weekly and our monthly spreads. So I went ahead and I have my key written here across the top. You can decorate this however you'd like. Actually, I would really like to use my thick pen to write this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and write my header. I definitely suggest that you start in pencil and then you go over for your headers. I think it's really, really helpful. And let's go ahead and use our regular pen. You could use pencil for this and write this out. So the different types of bullets, literally, is where we're going to list here. So anytime we have a task, it's going to be a dot, just like that. If we've completed that task, it's going to have an X over that dot. So we're going to list that as complete. All right. And then anytime there's a note, we're going to use a dash. If you have an event coming up, a meeting, an appointment, that's going to be an open circle, and we're going to call that event. Next, anytime we have a task, sometimes we don't complete them on time, or we have an extension for a deadline, or we want to push it off into the next week or in a different area, we're going to use a forward caret or arrow, and we're going to label that as migrate. Anytime we're going to schedule a task, maybe we planned on doing something in the month of August, but really we're going to do it in September, and we're going to move that into our future log that we just made. We're going to use a backward facing arrow and call that schedule. Sometimes we write out a task and we realize that we don't need it anymore. So we're going to actually use we're going to cross out that task. So we're going to label that as task irrelevant. And really satisfying, you're just going to cross that out. If something is a priority or it's really important, you're going to use a little star of your choosing. I'm going to call this important. And one of my favorite bullets is the exclamation point, which I use as inspiration. Sometimes you have a great idea and you just want to jot it down really quick on on something, and you don't want to forget it. I make a little exclamation point, and that is our key, which we'll be using in next class. Thank you so much for coming on setting up our journal. Let's go ahead and flip through. So we have the key, we wrote our name into our journal, we've labeled the year, maybe you have a quote here, some beautiful artwork. Next, we have our grid spacing and the index. Ooh, we almost forgot. We can put here that on page 3, we wrote out our future log. And then also on so that's page 3, 4. I'm going to leave 5 and 6. And then this is 7 and 8. And we're going to label that as our memories. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 7 and 8, I'm going to mark as memories. Perfect. So future logs. This is a blank page in case you needed extra space for your future log, which I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do that yet. A memories page to write down everything that's exciting happening in the year, and then onward into the rest of our journal. But that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next time.